Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. I don't think that'll harm too much. Yeah, okay. Now trains are finished. I could research all this other train stuff, but I'm not gonna be using it, so I don't want it like crapping up my quick bar, so I'm not gonna do that. Why can't I research? Oh, I can. Alright. Have the Okay, so this is also a little bit different. Military science mechs used to require piercing rounds, grenades, and turrets, and now they require walls instead of turrets. So okay, that's something. Yes. All right. So with pump jacks, one of the objectives is to uh, be able to unify the pipes in the most efficient way possible. Oops, what was that? Good morning, Mastazah. So pipes are one of the few things in the game that you can't run over like this. So you want to keep as much of the pipes below ground as possible. Just because besides, needing below ground pipes to be able to have them intersect in sensible ways. Like again, turrets are not required for anything. You just kind of you don't want to have your own movement impeded by uh, big pipe systems. All right, so Mastazov, if you're just joining us, I'm trying to get going on the stuff I was gonna do last time, which is getting oil refining started. So these are all connected. How many tanks did I build? 20. That's a good number. I'm gonna build a small storage area for crude oil, which is not really necessary. It's just kind of a small buffer. How do you find oil? It appears on the map. Yes, it appears on the map. These little pink squares are oil deposits, and you just build a pump jack on top of the oil deposit. So we have some there, and some more over here. Yeah, the some parts of this game are like very trivially easy compared to how they work in real life. And this map actually has quite a bit of oil because like there's a bunch over here and over here. Yes, there's by the standards of the game, this like northwestern section of the map has quite a bit of oil. Okay, I think I might actually put some of this stuff on my quick bar. Um, the the refineries I'm going to be using all of it all at once, so I don't need that. But the wait, did I? Oh yeah. Yeah, you might expect that you have to do actual geology to find oil, but that's not how it is. Okay, so tanks come in two different alignments like this. So they have like four ports that you can use. Okay, now that we have storage, let's just go ahead and power up these uh, pump jacks. I could do this in a different way, but this will work fine. And then we need like that. Sure. So one thing to note is that is that these oil deposits are like within the confines of the area where I could have like belts and other things going on. So I'm gonna have to like manage that so I don't have a big traffic jam here at the oil extraction location. Okay. So now we're starting to store crude oil in our storage tanks here. So let's throw down our refinery. Let's see. Let's say, yeah. Refineries are fairly complicated, so you want to have them sort of spaced out. And right now, the only thing they can do is basic oil processing. A little bit later, we'll be able to do more advanced things. So I'm actually going to set up the outputs for all this first. And this will look a little weird until it's working. All right. But oops, there we go. So you basically want all the outputs to all link up so that we just have one single output for each type. So I should clarify. The three outputs of oil refining are what they call petroleum gas, which is like gasoline, and then light oil and heavy oil, which are these like yellow and orange things. By far the most useful one is petroleum gas, which is true to life. Okay, so now I'm going to set up storage for all three of those things. Basic oil processing produces more petroleum gas than everything else, but since the other two things are produced and it's sort of harder to find any use for them, if you don't have sufficient storage, like if there's no storage for one of the outputs, like you can't just throw it away. You have to find something to do with it. So one of the challenges is like figuring out how to handle that. And later you can crack heavy oil into light oil and then light oil into gasoline, but I don't have the technology for that yet. So so this will be gasoline storage. How do I want to do this? I think yes, okay, I can just do this. And then we can, okay, so that'll be light oil storage, and then just do the same thing down here. Okay. There's no way to put convenient signs or labels up to show which things are storing. Well, once the storage tanks actually have stuff in them, like over here, the crude oil storage actually has the crude oil icon on it. That's part of the overlay. I can turn that off, which makes things much harder to tell what's going on. But so once the storage tanks actually contain some of what they will eventually be holding, they'll have the little icon showing that, which So basically, once things are running, it'll be much easier to read. But and actually, um, we are very close to being at that point. So let's go ahead and do that. So right now, the oil refineries have two input locations for crude oil, and you can put crude oil into either of them. Advanced oil refining requires crude oil and water, and so one of those inputs will change to water. Okay, so now they just need power. And oil refineries are big, so pretty much they each get one. Okay. So now that it's actually started, like they each have the relevant icon. A little later, once I have the appropriate technology, I will set up cracking facilities here, but I can't do that yet. Also, what do I need? Am I short on just pipe? Oh, I'm short on steel. Okay. I'm going to eventually need a lot more than 4 chemical plants. I'll build 2 right now just for giggles. But one of my other priorities today is to set up larger scale steel production. But for the moment, I'm going to just go grab more steel from this location. And now I can build lots of chemical plants. Let's go ahead and do that actually. Okay. So research is basically offline right now because I can't actually research anything that I need. Like I don't need a lot of extra bullet damage right at the moment. I guess I'll research this. It will take almost no time, but I might use that eventually. Because like research into things I'm never going to use is I don't really want to do because it'll just make the interface more messy. Okay, so but the actual I'll pull up the tech tree again once the belt immunity is done. My current goal for today is so this is advanced oil processing. This will allow us to do again the water plus crude oil thing that produces a larger proportion of gasoline and relatively less of the less useful stuff, and also gives us the ability to use chemical plants to crack heavy oil to light oil and light oil to gasoline. So that's the main thing that I want to get done today. There are other technologies. So this thing requires chemical science packs, which means we need to be able to produce chemical science packs. The other thing we can do with chemical science packs that's notable is build electric furnaces, which use electricity instead of coal. Okay, so to make chemical science packs, we need solid fuel and advanced circuits and engines. So I need to set up production of all those things. Solid fuel can be made from any of the petroleum products. You just use a chemical plant to like process it into solid fuel, which I'm not sure exactly what solid fuel is supposed to be in real. It doesn't have a great real life equivalent. Like it's portrayed as just generic gray brick. In game it kind of like you can burn it like coal in power plants or in furnaces. It's a little bit less efficient. Yeah, the fuel value of solid fuel is 12 megajoules versus. Do I even have any coal in my inventory? I don't. I think coal is slightly more fuel dense or energy dense per unit, but that's not too important. So I have to set up production of all 3 of these things. I'm going to do solid fuel and engines first, just because plastic bar, like advanced circuits, will require some thought. Oh, and this also requires steel. Okay, you know what? Actually, let's just bite the bullet and start making steel because this is going to need it. So, uh, let's take that off of the quick bar and put this back on. So I'm gonna go, since steel production is just coal and iron, and it takes a lot of steel, and the other thing about steel production is that crafting time is 16 seconds, which is really high compared to like 3.2 seconds for iron plates. And it is just like, it chews up a lot of iron and takes a lot of time. Because it takes a lot of time, you compensate for that by making a lot of furnaces doing this, so, which means it takes up a lot of space. So I'm going to set this apart from the primary factory. Are these belts doing nothing at all? That's a little strange. Oh, this probably, that used to go to the original power plant. Okay. All right. Okay, so over here, I'll be expanding iron production south, which I have, relatively speaking, a lot of space to do that, which means I can just put steel production immediately north of iron production. Yeah, back to time and space being functions of each other, yeah. Yeah. If time is a limitation, you can compensate for that with space, and sometimes the opposite, but sometimes not. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do another 42 furnace production for steel, which at the moment is definitely overkill, but it's fine. And just so that I have my own assurance that I'm not like spacing things out incorrectly, I'm going to place the start of that part. Oops. Yeah, okay. Okay, and now let's just go ahead and get power to these things. Oops. There we go. So this is almost exactly like building an iron production facility, but the input is iron instead of iron ore. That's like the only difference. So off camera, you may have already seen that I mentioned that. Oops, these are pointing the wrong direction. Okay. I built an additional iron facility and also cleaned up some of the old factory that is now redundant. So I've kind of decided that off camera, I'm okay with like really repetitive stuff. Like once I've built one iron production facility, you don't necessarily need to see me build the exact same thing again, which since I'm over here, I'll just, so last time I built this one, then off camera, I just did it again because I know that I'm going to need the extra iron production capacity. So, and I may, hopefully this stream at least, I won't run out of iron production capacity or exhaust iron production capacity, but anyway, so I've basically decided that like once I've done one thing on stream once, I don't need to do it again. And I was kind of on the fence about steel production just because steel production is so similar to iron production, but you know. Uh-oh. Am I gonna run out of fast inserters? This will be tragic. Oh, no. Okay. I actually have another stack. Okay. And now long arm inserters, which Eventually I'll have to go grab some more, but yeah, I don't need to keep showing the solution. And in the long term, if I need to duplicate a portion of the factory, which usually means expanding iron or copper production, I will eventually be able to use robots to do that, and it'll be. I might not. I mean, I can do that part on stream, but I don't have the technology yet to fully automate that. And like very briefly, like once you have robots, you can like you can like just take a cursor and like box select a part of your factory and make a blueprint of that, and then like throw down additional copies of it onto the ground, and you can, and robots will just like take the parts and build it for you, which that will all be demonstrated in due time, but it is a little ways off. Okay, it's certainly one of the design philosophies of this game is like automating as much as possible. Like that part is pretty clear, so it is pretty nice that they've made it so that if the player is like sufficiently advanced, they don't need to do too much repetitive action. But part of that is researching the technology, which I do not have yet. Okay. Okay, so there's the output for steel. Now the other thing we have to decide is where to put have the steel output belt go. I'm gonna have it. I think I'll have it go to the left of. I think this is probably circuits. One of these is circuits, and the other one is copper. But I'm gonna have it go to the left of either of those, which means. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'm going to move this out a little further. Yeah. Okay. All right. So while I'm doing this, I can think about, or at least try to articulate what the other challenges will be today. A little further. In fact, let's go figure out where this actually needs to come down. I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's where I'm going to have the steel output go. So like there, let's just make sure this lines up. Okay, so to get chemical science packs online, I think I probably also want to start making iron sticks. I don't know what else they're going to be used for, but they're definitely used for power poles, which means that I will need that in relatively large scale production. So here's where steel storage will be. I think I'm just going to set this to 10. And while we're here, let's just bring this down to a useful point. So once steel production is up, I think I'm going to go ahead and like power pole automation is, or automating power pole production won't be that hard and will just be a useful quality of life thing to have done. So I'll probably do that, which shouldn't take that long, and is possible now that I have steel. Or, I mean, I don't have it yet, but I'll have steel production online in a minute or two. So yes, so you have to make engines and then advanced circuits, and what's the third thing? Oh right, solid fuel. Solid fuel will be trivial because you just need chemical plants, and so you just take light oil and dump it into a chemical plant, and it makes solid fuel, and that's like the easiest thing of these various things, since one input into one output is a lot easier than a lot of other things. Okay, so now we need coal, like there. And finally we need iron. Oop. There, okay. So there goes the steel production. Again, it'll, on the one hand, it is slow to produce. I don't think I'm gonna need a ton of it, at least initially, so hopefully that won't be a bottleneck anytime soon. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is that coal consumption here specifically is not backlogged, like, which is to say all the drills are working right now, and right now, like, I'm guessing iron production is very low. Okay, I mean iron, I mean it just jumped up because steel production started, but like, yeah, in the last 10 minutes, very little of any production of any sort has been happening, because like in the last hour, like all this other stuff has happened, but in the last 10 minutes, because there's been no research happening, almost nothing has been used. So um, if okay, well now coal is backing up. Even so, I'm thinking I might want to expand coal production here, because it would be, well, I'm thinking of it basically because it would be kind of annoying to have iron suddenly grind to a halt just because we're out of coal. Like, that's a silly reason to have. You know, and if iron production stops, then like almost everything stops. So, oh boy, I'll have to pick up more circuits later, but. All right. This is not like a huge expansion. This is just kind of enough to stave off the worst. Okay. All right. Let's grab more circuits. So, as I can show something, so as part of dismantling the old factory, like, I ended up with a lot of extra stuff, which I just sort of dumped into uh, these chests, and on the expectation that I'll be using it later. All right, now let's set up iron stick production, and then we can set up automated power pole production, because I don't have a lot of power poles. I mean, I'll build more now, but well, this forest is very large, and it's directly in the path of the factory, so I'm going to be using a lot of grenades in the near future. Okay, I don't know how much iron sticks. And again, the iron sticks just requires iron plate, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, this will be probably a little overkill, but that's fine. Are iron sticks required for, like, rail? Yes, they are. Okay, so eventually I'm going to need more of this, but uh, what am I trying to say? Oh, right, yeah. I mean, the design of this factory is such that it scales pretty easily, so expanding stick production shouldn't be that big of a deal. Good morning, Charles. You're somehow awake to watch this. Um, I'm making iron sticks. The eventual goal today is to get to more advanced chemical processing, which is why I named this stream that. But for now, we're doing more rudimentary stuff. Okay, let's just... Okay, so again, this is just iron plates, which are somewhere... Where are the iron plates? Oh boy. We're gonna have to... Wait, really? Have we not? Okay, here's iron plates. Good morning, Betamax hipster. Unfettered exploitative industrialism is reason enough to wake up. Yes. That is definitely what this game's about. This game has a mild environmentalism model, but I've basically turned it off. I kind of feel mildly guilty about playing that way. But this is also a video game, so... okay. So we are starting to see the potential challenges of factory organization, because, like, the underground belts are starting, have the potential to get kind of messy. I mean, you already have, like, things like this where it's like, I guess I understand what's happening here. So that's essentially part of the fun of Factorio. If you don't enjoy trying to solve this sort of problem, this is probably not the game for you. I've done this sort of thing a lot, so I don't think I'm going to run into major challenges, but certainly, if you're first starting out, it's easy to take shortcuts early on that later result in major problems for belt organization. Okay. Okay. So now eventually that'll start iron stick production. Where do I want to put the iron sticks in the stream? I think I'm going to keep the iron sticks to the right of iron plates, which is to say about here. Okay. Yeah, that's all fine. Let's just say this is going to work. Okay, so now what I want to do is set up automated power pole production just for my own convenience. I don't think power poles are required for any downstream recipes, but you do need a lot of power poles just, like, as the game progresses, and so I would like to have that automated so I don't have to do it all myself. Look at all these trees. They all need to go. Yeah, like that was just that, and there's gonna be a lot more tree destruction today. Okay, and then per our usual practice, placing the lights, which uh you can kind of see what the lights are for now. Like at nighttime, you can see where the central backbones are of the um, factory. Okay, so power poles need copper plates, steel plates. Big electric poles and medium electric poles have the same inputs, so we can make it all in the same production line, just from different. Uh, yeah. Yes. Mastazaz says we're leaving SAP, so the biosphere means nothing to us. Yeah, in theory, there's some pretentious word that I can't remember. The reason for this game, uh, the framing device is that you've crash landed on an alien planet, and that you're trying to build a rocket to escape or something. Good morning, G Volt. I'm not moving around because Durga is bothering me, but okay, cat, you can. There we go. All right, I think I've got the cat managed. All right, so we're going to need 2 input lines here because we have 3 total inputs. Let's just drop down iron sticks right here. Okay, and this will be relatively straightforward because we're just going to have medium electric poles being produced here and output there. And then right here, we'll just have big electric poles doing the same thing and going into a different chest. Okay, so now once I, actually let's do this. There we go. Okay, so now all I have to do, and then I don't need a ton of these things, so certainly 4 stacks of each will be plenty. So now I just have to line up the inputs, and which are copper and steel. And then that will be done. Okay, that was a little overkill in the steel, but that's okay. Wait. Did I? Hold on. Oh, okay, no, this is fine. Okay, so that's that. Let's drag the steel down, and where are the copper plates? The copper plates are probably way upstream. Somewhere. Here they are. All right. Okay, so once this is all done, then next will probably be what? Engine production, yeah. Because engines require inputs somewhat similar to what I'm already doing here, so this looks, no, I actually want that back one. There we go. This will look like this. I need to have that. Okay. Maybe I had this done correctly the first time. That's fine. as I was saying, yes. And next I have, I'll be producing engines, which are for chemical science packs, I think. If you're just joining us, what I'm probably talking about is abstract nonsense, but that's okay. It will all become clear in the near future. Okay. I'll just recap. I think Mastazal probably saw this, but um, one of our goals for today is to be able to produce chemical science packs, which requires these three things which we are not currently producing. So, something is amiss. Oh, this. There. Anyway, so we need to be able to produce engines and advanced circuits and solid fuel, because engines require steel plates and iron gears and pipes. Oh, I guess we need to start mass producing pipes too. That's not a big problem. I'm still very good at not quite finishing my tasks here. Okay, I think that's done it. Yes, there goes the copper. All right. Well, pipes are pretty trivial. It's just iron plates, and then the pipe to ground is iron plates and pipes. Okay, let's take care of that. So, yeah, we can just drop iron plates there. So pipes are used as recipes for other things. Pipe to ground, I don't believe is. Or if it is, it's very, very small scale. So I don't need a lot of pipe to ground production. Like, I personally use a lot of pipe to ground just like in building stuff, but I don't need a huge amount of pipe to ground production. Normal pipes, however, I will need larger amounts of. Let's just, this is a lot, but it's fine. So the way this is going to work is this will be pipe to ground production that will pull from both directions here. And we'll just dump into here. Again, 4 of these. This will be pipe storage, and we can store more of that. And then these will all just be producing pipe. Okay. No, this is not gonna work. Okay, so a little overkill with the power poles here. That's okay. Oop. Okay, and we have iron plates right here. Yeah. There, that's pipe production. It's actually going to take a little while, though. I thought yeah. Pipe production, let's just say 6, yeah. Once again, I have not quite closed the loop here. There we go. Okay, now I can start engine production, because I believe I have all the inputs for that. Right, okay, so if you go over here, yes. Gears, steel, pipe. Now, engines also feed into electric engines, which I'll probably just like leave space for that. Okay. Whoa. There we go. All right, pipes. I want to say that pipes aren't used in that many things. I mean, I use them again a lot, and they go into things like pump jacks and pumps and chemical plants. But like, I don't think I ever need to mass produce those things. So I don't need to make the pipeline, so to speak, super central, which means that it can go to the right of iron sticks. Yeah, that actually make it like significantly to the right of iron sticks. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. There. Okay. Man. Maybe I should just destroy all of these trees. Yeah, let's just go on a extended tree destruction excursion here. How's everybody doing? I got up very early this morning, and so I'm gonna be able to cram in a lot of Factorio. Sometimes you just get tired of doing things piecemeal, and you just have to destroy all of the trees. Churls reports that she's doing. Sometimes that's about as good as it gets. Sometimes there are rocks hiding in the trees. The rocks will also have to be destroyed, I think. But I think I might actually harvest the rocks because stone can actually be used, whereas wood, actually, I hope to God that, okay, good. In real life, railways have wooden rails, but Factorio does not require that because harvesting wood in Factorio is not an easily automated process. Mast Huzzah is going to be doing some computer service. Wow, this is a lot of rocks. Anyway, yeah, if Factorio wanted you to use wood for like anything other than very early game stuff, they would make it so that there were like wood deposits that you could harvest from, or anyway, it would become very silly. Or they would make like trees that are much higher yield than they are currently, where like one tree would give you like 5,000 wood or something like that, which is not how it is. Or they would have to like, what would be really funny is if they made like a tree harvesting robot that would like rove around, but this game currently does not really have like move. I mean, it has trains obviously, but it doesn't have like robots that can just freely move over the world. Anyway, okie dokie. Time for engines. So engines have 3 inputs, which means they again will need 3 input belts. I'm gonna need a fair number of these, so I'm gonna build a lot, like 8. 8 will be overkill in the initial stages, but these are used in like science packs and stuff, so I'll eventually need a lot of them. Okay. All right. So once these are up, I'll have to just arrange the inputs, which, okay, so this is, yeah, pipes, steel, and gears. Okay, let's just do this. So I'm going to want the pipes coming in here. Let's just do that. That's a lot of belt that's just kind of exposed out in the factory, but it's gonna be fine. Okay. Now steel and gears. So the steel, I'm gonna want something like that. That's not really in the right place, but there, that's closer. And that arrangement is very familiar because we just did it down here. Again, there are lots of different ways to do this. This is just a way to force the steel stream to be on the top part of the belt. Okay, now I just need to bring gears down, and I'm guessing gears are way down. Oh, here they are. This reminds me that I maybe want to check on iron production. How is iron production doing? Okay, so currently iron consumption over the last hour exceeds local production, or, production. And man, over 10 minutes. Okay, I might run out of iron this stream, which I had hoped that would not happen, but we'll see. Oh yeah, Betamax hipsters into these graphs. They expanded the graphing features from 0.16 to 0.17, so now you can like hover and it'll like actually report instantaneous numbers, which I'm very glad that they added that. Previously, you just had to like the only numbers that were reported in this screen were the ones up here, but now you can like get instantaneous production consumption numbers, which is great. What I was reading from a couple seconds ago was like if you just look at iron, you can see that over the last 10 minutes we've been consuming at about 650 units per minute, and we're only producing at 388. I don't know what maximum capacity is. I'm actually a little bit alarmed that our consumption or production is decreasing. That doesn't make any sense. I guess, okay, so production increased over here. This should be increased to this is baffling. I might need to, like, the functions that this offers here is it allows you to, like, monitor how production is without having to walk over and look at it. But if what the graph is telling you doesn't make any sense, then that might be cause for concern. Because, like, the fact that we at one point had iron plate production of 1,500, I don't know what the units are there, but is this like minutes ago? Yeah, this looks like minutes ago. Yeah, okay, so means that we have the capacity for that much, but then it crashed, which means we probably have a coal shortage or a ore shortage. It seems unlikely that we have an ore shortage, so I'm going to finish this thing that I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to go check out iron production. Because if it's just a coal shortage, we can, yeah, Mastazah has some good suggestions, which we will, if it's just a coal shortage, I can solve that problem. If it's an ore shortage, then that's a different problem. But if I'm running out of iron and I just need to feed it more coal, then that's a pretty easy thing to do. Okay. I'm going to set up a small amount of engine storage here. You really don't need very many engines for walking around with. Okay. So brief interlude. These are working right. Yeah, okay. All right, engine production is online. It's, yeah, okay. So can I walk while I do this? Hey, I can. So if you look at like instantaneous 1 minute production, so since consumption is higher than production, that means that consumption is chewing through a backlog. But like the backlog isn't here, so, and coal has a backlog, so we should not be coal limited. It looks like, oh, I broke the coal stream. Okay, that's on me. Uh, oh, also, I somehow, wow, I'm an idiot. Okay, so so this is all very entertaining. So this lower iron production uh, stream or belt, what am I trying to say? The lower, this thing here that where the iron is produced but not moving is what I built off camera, and I did everything correct except connecting the final thing here. So there. And then I split iron or split coal production to go feed into the steel production, but I somehow broke it in a way that like all all the coal down here is broken, is no longer flowing. So let's fix that too. Okay. So two different errors. All right. So, oh man. Okay. So with those things fixed, things should pick up again. The scale of those errors were such that I'm kind of surprised that things lasted as long as they did, but I think that's the consequence of not having research happening right now. Again, research is on hold until I have chemical science packs again. We are in need of the blue things. Okay. Since I'm over here, let's go pick up some more long-handled inserters. Excuse me. And that's probably enough for now. Let's see, what else should I be picking up while I'm over here? Things are looking okay, actually. I think I might pick up like one more of these and a couple more fast transport belts. Yeah. Yeah, our reporting tools told us that we had a major problem, and the solution is to go over there and fix it. Okay, I'm gonna, so again, now we have we have normal engines being produced. I'm gonna set up the skeleton of the electric engine production. I don't need electric engines right now, but I will in the near future, and I'm just gonna like set aside space for it. So this has 3 inputs, but only 2 of them are solid. It's always a difficult thing to try to figure out how to manage combinations of solid and liquid inputs. But let's just do this. And then, oops, that'll be going the other direction. Okay, so these will make electric engines eventually, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. So now that I've just set aside space for it, let's go ahead and expand the power backbone. And then we can get started on what? Solid fuel, or probably we should just take care of advanced circuit production. Advanced circuit production tends to be a major sticking point in terms of like it's very resource intensive. So advanced circuits require copper cables and electronic circuits and plastic bars. Plastic bars, which I'm not currently producing, requires coal and petroleum gas made in chemical plants. So before we do advanced circuits, we're going to have to make plastic bars, but we should also decide where these things will be going. I think I'm just gonna have plastic bar production be near iron or near oil refining, and then maybe just have advanced circuits be downstream of that. I mean, the problem is that advanced circuits use a ton of circuits. So I am somewhat incentivized to sort of split the difference, actually, and have advanced circuit production be like between circuit production and everything else. I think that's what I will actually do. Okay. And I have placed lights. Yeah, okay. So I think while I'm over here, which is to say over near oil production, I think I'll do the solid fuel production because it'll be trivial. And then do plastic production, which will be a little bit more complicated. Okay. Okay, if we look at, so oil refining is currently halted on account of I haven't used any of it. Like I set it up and then it just sort of produced for a while and then now it's stopped because I have a backlog of petroleum gas, which is not a problem. It's just kind of the facts of life. Okay, so this will be how am I going to do this? I'm eventually going to need a lot of solid fuel production for production of rocket fuel, which I think I actually can produce. Like rocket fuel just like takes a lot of solid fuel, takes a long time to produce. Anyway, but I don't need that. I mean, I don't need that anytime soon just because I'm not making rockets anytime soon. So let's just do 6 and 6. Which do I want? I'm just trying to think about whether I want to like have 2 of these. Yeah, sure. Let's do it like this. Let's have these spread out a little bit, like this. Okay. And these are all doing solid fuel from light oil. And let's get them power. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna actually just drop one more so the power pole arrangement is not quite as embarrassing. Okay, and the way this is going to work is that these are going to spit out into here. Okay, so then I'm going to have, once I've done this, then it'll just be standard belts here, and then I'll have to manage the pipelines. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to have one input here, and then this will look a little funny, but it'll make sense in due time. I mean, one of my priorities here is I want to be able to run through this whole thing. So if I were to do something like, actually, I'm going to drop light oil like there. Like run a pipe. Like another option I could do here is do this, but now I can't run between them because you can't run between pipes, so that's no good. Okay, so light oil will just get dropped down here. Is this gonna, no, this will be just fine. Let's just do that. Oh, how entertaining. That's okay. There. So you basically never need to carry around solid fuel, so I'm not going to build like a chest that stores it. So that's solid fuel production. I'll probably have to decide where to drop it into the drip line. I call this arrangement the drip line, where because like resources or other materials are produced and then come out here and then like drip in a direction, so that you can pull off the drip line. I don't know if that's just something I made up a long time ago. It's not like common terminology. It's just kind of uh-oh, this won't work. Oh dear. Abort, abort, abort. Okay. All right. That's much less bad. Okay, I think I'm gonna right here is fine. Okay, that's where solid fuel will feed. And now it's time for plastic. Plastic is a little more complicated than solid fuel, because it requires coal. But I think I'm still going to have it be structured basically the same way, though, because you eventually do need a lot of plastic. So, although actually, so the problem with this is that, like, what am I trying to say? Because it requires, again, like with the electric engines that will eventually use lubricant and some solid stuff, it's hard to manage things that have solid and fluid inputs. But let's just assume we can do this. Yeah. Let's just do the one and try to structure it in a way that won't make me barf. Not there. There we go. So please make plastic bars. And okay, so we want coal and... oh wait, I have a plan. This is goofy as heck. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna use the power of long-handled inserters. Okay. We're gonna have coal come down the middle, and then gas will come down the sides. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then the pipe arrangement will look like this. Oop, okay. Actually, I don't even need long-handled inserters. Okay. Since gas is used more than light oil, I'm going to have gas be on the outside of the power poles. And actually, let's do it like this. All right, this requires a lot of brain here, which is why my commentary might fall off a cliff a bit, but hopefully it's not too egregious. Okay, so now we don't even need long-handled inserters. That's great. Nothing against those, but I would rather use fast inserters if I can. Okay, this will be output. Uh, okay. Anyway, now we need gas to be, again, probably around here. Let's see how bad that is. No, this will be fine. Nope, not grenades. Okay, and then so gasoline, which is actually the #1 output from the oil refinery, will actually start getting used. Not quite yet. Right now, it's just like being drained to fill up the plastic bar things. Now I need to find a source of coal, which here's the coal patch. I guess this is hideous. So I could split the coal here and go down that way, but that's terrible. Oh, I can split it here. Yes, this is slightly less terrible. It'll look a little bit silly, but it won't be too bad. I'm carrying a lot of stone. All right. Since we resolved our iron production problem, let's just review the effects of that. And while that happens, I'm going to sneeze. Or maybe I won't sneeze and I'll just have to live with about to sneeze sensation for several minutes, but that's fine. Okay, so previously we had this iron spike, and then it crashed because it was all messed up, and then it recovered again. So this is actual like iron maximum capacity right now, and so we are using basically all of the iron that's being produced, but it's at least allowing things to keep happening. I'm going to replace this. So this is all original transport belt. I'm going to replace it with fast transport belt. Hopefully I won't be harvesting the iron. No, okay, or coal. Whether this is necessary or not is debatable. But I'm going to use this. Okay. While I'm over here, I'm going to pick up more grenades because I used a bunch blowing up trees. And let's just drop coal straight down the middle. Thank you, G-Volt. Yes, that's definitely a Gesundheit question mark because I never actually sneezed. My nose just kind of got over it. You don't use coal for very much in actual production. In the early game, it's your primary power source, but um, in terms of like building things and so on, you don't really need very much of it. Although that reminds me, oh, solid fuel is actually more efficient than coal because coal is 4 megajoules and solid fuel is 12 megajoules. I don't know if that used to be the case. I feel like it used to be the case that like if you wanted to run a steam plant on solid fuel instead of coal, you would end up needing more units of solid fuel. But what do I know? Aesthetics. Okay. I think this is in line here. Okay. Okay. So that should start plastic bar production. And okay, so this will probably backlog pretty quickly. Where do I want plastic bars to be dropped down? Let's choose a location for the plastic bar line. I think just to the right of gasoline will be fine. I'm going to do this. Oops, I did that totally wrong. I want this to be. Hold on. Please hold. We are experiencing technical difficulties. And then. Can I do this? Yes, I can do this. This is a little bit ugly, but because of the pipe arrangement, it's kind of necessary, so. Alright, let's just do this. Okay, so again, now we have all the components for plastic bar production. Or, sorry, advanced circuit production. Because we have advanced circuit, or we have plastic bars, we have copper cables, and we have electronic circuits. And I'm going to make advanced circuit production. I want to put it right here, and I kind of want to avoid this iron ore, like in particular this iron ore, because this is 1.2 million versus. I can live without the. I can just build on top of the 232,000. That's acceptable, but okay. So in order to do this, I'm going to need to clear out these trees, and also let's bring up the power backbone here. And while we're at it, we can go ahead and drop down plastic bars. Okay, so this is some good multitasking. Plastic bars are not used for very much, so I'm okay with just doing it this way, which is to say without gaps. The gaps are for visibility, but I don't think we need super high visibility around here. Let's just say there, that's, okay, that'll be our plastic bar output approximately. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab the power backbone for circuit production and bring it up north, which hopefully, I don't know if I have a consistent power backbone for circuit production. I don't. Let's make one because I definitely am gonna want that. Okay, let's just say it's this. This, yeah, whatever. So the reason why I'm doing this is that eventually I expect this space to get filled up with uh, circuit production and advanced circuit production and copper coil production, etc., etc. So I kind of want a fairly rigid definition of where the power is and so on. Okay, is this almost done? That's good. Okay. And let's just, for giggles, this is not necessary, but I'm going to connect this up to the other power backbone. In a perfect world, I could maybe do everything on the same power backbone, but the world, you have to kind of live with what the world gives you and not a totally ideal situation. Okay. All right, so then once this is done, I will be able to just do some more grenade deforestation. And then we can finally build advanced circuits. So advanced circuits do use up a lot of circuits, so sometimes I build dedicated circuit production just for advanced circuits. I think for the initial stages I will not do that. The reason why I'm dedicating so much space to advanced circuits is that number one, production of advanced circuits is slow. It is 6 seconds compared to half a second for electronic circuits. So you need a lot of assemblers building advanced circuits, and also like in the late stages of the game you use a lot of advanced circuits, so you need a lot of space and a lot of resources dedicated to advanced circuit production, which can get a little tedious sometimes, but you know, it's not supposed to be easy. And as before, I get to clear out these rocks. Yeah, I might eventually like find a place to throw these rocks because I'm carrying a lot of them at this point. Okay, that's good enough for now. And again, I want to avoid this iron patch, but I can build south of there without much concern. Okay, so given that, let's just say that the output for advanced circuits will be here. And again, I'm going to build a lot of this because it's slow. Let's just say this. And the other thing I'm going to be doing is setting up dedicated copper coil production for this. Okay. All right. Welcome to placing a lot of inserters, the stream. Anyway, okay, so So advanced circuits are going to do have three inputs. So like I've already done several times today, we're going to have a long-handled inserter handling probably. I'll look at what the inputs are, but we'll see what the input arrangement is going to look like. So this requires 4 copper cables, 2 plastic bars, two electronic circuits. So the easiest thing to do is just have, because copper cable production is going to be done locally, I'll just have that be the outside thing, and then the inside input belt will be for the circuits and plastic bars. So this is pretty simple. And because their production is so slow compared to, so copper coils in half a second uses 1 copper plate to produce 2 copper cables, whereas advanced circuits will be using 4 copper cables every 6 seconds, so I don't need as much. Like, I don't need to be super heavy on copper cable production over here. Like, these 6 is probably going to be enough. Yuck. That's gross. I'm going to move this so it's not quite so ugly. Okie dokie. Yep. And then copper plates will just get dropped down here, which I can just go ahead and do that. Because copper plates are right here. So, like this. Oh. That was a little bit of a disaster, but that's fine. Okay, so just kind of. Okay. So now for the circuits, which so we kind of want this like there, which means actually we need this back one because what is going on here? This is a little bit gross, but I think it'll be okay. It'll become less gross when we have dedicated circuit production. Now then, what to do with plastic bars? Let's just. Oh right, I said I was gonna. Does it make sense to have this drop down this far away? I don't think that makes any sense. Yeah, because it's eventually gonna run into like at least this iron ore patch. So I will do what I planned to do originally, which is turn the corner. And then we can drop this down next to copper plates. Yeah. This won't be in line with anything. Nope. Okay. Okay, so now, yes, this is all well and good. So now we have this going on, and we're going to put a splitter there, and like this. Wow, that looks terrible. I mean, I know that they... Ugh. Like the graphical, this... So they changed some of the graphics for transport belts, so that they're a little more 3D looking, like you can see the little like gears underneath that are supposed to be turning it, but like this looks bad. Or at least maybe I'm just like acting that way because it's different. That's the actual thing that's happening. They changed something, and now it's definitely worse because all things that are different are worse, right? Okay. Okay, so that's almost done. I just need to actually hook up plastic production. And then we'll have an actual production, well, not quite yet. I was about to say we'll have an actual production output that's using the oil, which still isn't quite true because we aren't actually using the advanced circuits for anything. Okay. Now I need to figure out why the plastic bars aren't connected. There they are. So now that we're producing advanced circuits, I need to decide where they will go. I ideally want them to be relatively close to normal circuits. I think I will probably drop them down here. Okay, so oh wait, I just walked straight by it. Hello. So the plastic bars aren't here yet, but they are coming. Okay. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's just turn a corner here. Let's go there. Let's just hook this up now down here, and then we won't have to worry about that part later. Okay, so I'm going to have this go like this. Yes, okay. And then it'll be, so the steel will be between circuits and advanced circuits, but that's not a huge problem. And right here will be advanced circuit storage. Oh no. Well, here's a secret. Inserter's going to reach into a underground belt ports, so. Okay, I think we are finally ready for chemical science pack production. Yes. We are making solid fuel. We are making motors or engines, and we are making advanced circuits. So where's it gonna be? I think I might actually put it over here, which makes it feel kind of silly that I'm putting advanced circuits here, but that'll make more sense later. Is that really what I want? I think it is, because that's where solid fuel production is, and then I can hook that up with military science packs that'll keep the military production relatively out of the way. Okay. So you can see that even though I set up like a lot of uh, assemblers making advanced circuits, the output is not very dense. So, all right, where do I want to do this? Okay, actually, one thing I want to do is, okay, so I'm going to be making chemical science packs and military science packs onto a belt that will go over to the science lab department, which will probably be dropped down there. So let's go ahead and get that ready. So, I'm gonna move this. Well, actually, no, I can do this. This is fine. Because I can do this. Oops, not quite. Yes. Okay. So this will be the belt that'll carry chemical science packs and military science packs. Okay. That's a little bit messy, but that's okay. And these can be in a relatively low density area. Because it's just going to be a single stream of stuff that goes from one assembler area directly over to the science labs and does nothing else. So putting it near coal seems like a reasonable thing. All right. So one of my goals was I kind of wanted to be able to get to oil product cracking today, which maybe I will get that far. I don't know. I think it's going to be close because I'll be on here for another 40 minutes ish. So we'll see. And is there going to be a problem if I think. So what I'm trying to do is pick a location to site the production of chemical science packs. I think I might want to leave space for sulfuric acid generation. I don't know. This is all complicated. Let's not worry about that. That can happen. Like that can happen downstream of this. That's not a problem. Okay. So I think then these science packs would be here. Uh-oh. I actually used up all my fast underground belts. That's not actually a problem. I just need to go pick up some more. All of these, yes. And while we're here, we definitely want some more splitters and some more of these. I kind of want like all of these. I really need to drop off this stone that I'm carrying. One way to do that is, so eventually I'm going to mine out this stone and it'll be my like primary stone supply, but in the meantime I can just make a chest. All the stone goes in there. Okay. Okay, meanwhile, back to what was going on here. Okay, so again, the agenda for the rest of the stream here is get chemical science pack production online, research advanced oil processing or whatever it's called. Where'd it go? There it is. Yes, advanced oil processing. I'm just going to hit start research. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there not being produced, but at least my intentions are clear. And then, so I'm going to put the science pack production over here, and then the components for military science pack production, which I probably won't get to today, will be over there. All right, and man, I'm low on. That's probably good. Assembly machines. Eventually, I'll have to automate the production of assembly machines too. But okay. So this is just 3 solid items, so we just need input streams here and here. And these things, I recall, produce 24 seconds to make 1 chemical science pack. So welcome to slow production. That'll be fine. Eventually, we will have the means of making 1 assembler go faster, but how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10's a start. Actually, I'm going to go out to 16 because Gadzooks 24 seconds. I think they extended the production time, so unless it makes 2 of them. Okay, it does make 2 of them. I'm still going to do it like this. This is a little bit overkill, but I want this research to go fast. Okay. Because if we compare, like, automation science pack takes 5 seconds and makes 1, versus chemical science pack makes 2 in 24 seconds. I don't know why they make 2 in 24 seconds instead of, like, 1 in 12 seconds. That's frankly kind of baffling. I mean, I guess it makes it so that you get 2 for the inputs from 1. That doesn't really. I don't know about that. Since ultimately, well, I guess that is sort of an argument. I mean, that would make sense if this required more advanced circuits or engines than solid fuel, but as it is, solid fuel is like the simplest component there. So, like, saving you on solid fuel doesn't make any sense. All right. This certainly has been the stream for this. The basic plan of like two input belts for 3 things. Involves ratios of inputs. Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, and then this we can pull out to where the science packs go, which is over there. That in line looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now I just need to actually connect all of the stuff. So this uses 3 advanced circuits, and that's the highest number of anything. So, Alright, so now I need to go find the advanced circuit belt, which is probably way over here. There it is. Whoop, nope, okay. Keeping things in line over long distances is kind of a pain. Let's just assume this is correct. If I'm off by 1, I might not care. These I will leave gaps, though. So it looks like I might be off by a little bit. Which is... Oh wait, no I'm not. Everything's fine. Okay. Now the next one's gonna be a little bit more complicated. I'm gonna have to go get the engine production line and take it pretty far down, which I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. But before we do that, we can do an easier thing, which is set up the solid fuel line. Because this is just going to be like... Okay. There. So engines are being produced way over here. And will mostly feed into electric engine production. I think instead of worrying about, I'm kind of on the fence about this because I don't know what else I'm going to need engines for, since they've changed the text trees enough that I don't have a lot of confidence that I can just predict what, unless this thing tells us. Where our engine is here. Well, that's fancy engine, but like none of this stuff. Okay. Here's basic engine. Like, engines are used in trains, so I'm not going to be building a lot of trains, I don't think. Like the actual like train engines. I'm going to do this in kind of a sloppy way, which may bite me in the ass later. But let's just throw a splitter there. And then this will split over to there, over to electric engine production. But in the meantime, I'm just going to pull this all the way over to be fairly close to where they're going to get used. And drop it down approximately there without a lot of precision, because I don't think this needs a lot of precision. Yeah, like there. Okay, so let's just like extend this a little bit. Okay. Oops, nope, don't do that. Okay. let's see if I can outpace the. I mean, I can run faster than the fast transport belts, which means the engines won't keep up. But let's see how far they get before I finish building this belt. They probably will get all the way down to the end, but we will see. Okay, this is a little bit ugly, but I can just do this. Alright, and now we just connect this stuff up. There we go. Okay, I think we've done probably the hardest thing we're going to do today on stream, which is set up chemical science production, pack production momentarily, any minute now. It's always a good idea to, like, first of all, it's satisfying to see the fruits of your labor, which is to say, once you've finished a complicated production line, like, watch it actually work, and also watch the outputs actually make sure they actually are getting all the way to where they need to go. Because sometimes you will have forgotten to actually connect all the belts up, or other connections aren't quite complete, and so you're like doing 98% of the work, but not quite finishing it. Okay, so it'll take a long time for the chemical science packs to get all the way over to the science lab area. While I'm doing that, while I'm waiting for that, I'll chop these trees down. So even once, now that this production is online, it will take a little while, well, for the actual research to happen. While I'm waiting for that, I'll make more chemical plants, which means this will be a good opportunity for me to go pick up some pipes, because I'm going to need a lot of pipes. And then also, the next thing I'm going to be doing will involve some degree of, like, logic circuits, which I have not done yet on the stream, so this will be a little bit new. Let's grab some more of these. What am I short on? Am I just short on steel? So I'm just short on steel. Okay. So this is going to require some wire and some deciders and some arithmetic combinators, which all look like nonsense. Okay, yes, so chemical science research is actually proceeding. So that's good. How am I doing on gears? I can pick up some more gears, sure. Alright. Now I should be able to build a lot more science, or chemical labs, yeah, chemical plants. Woo! Anything else we're looking short on? Fast inserters. I don't need any fast inserters for oil refining, but the other thing I should do definitely is prepare for water demands, because advanced oil processing requires water. So I should go ahead and set up a water pipeline, which let's just go ahead and grab more underground. This probably is not necessary, but more pipe to ground attachments. And because I have a water pump, but it's not very close to the oil refining system, so I'll have to carry the water. Unless there's water that's closer, but that's very unlikely. Okay, so here's the main water supply. There's water over there, but that's not compelling. Okay, so advanced oil processing is finished. Let's move on. Let's see, do I want this? Like, substations are like power poles, but they're large, so they're not very useful to me. I can do, I think probably what I want is advanced material processing. Okay. So somewhere in here, okay, there's the water pump and the water line, yes. This is leftover from the old power generation that was using this water line for steam production. Yes, okay. Let's figure out where we want this water line to go. I mean, it needs to get over here, but like, I can only go past here and then over and then up. Yeah. This is fine. Well, actually, I'm gonna go one further. Eventually, the belts that carry iron and steel over to the main factory will get very crowded, and so I want to make sure that I'm not anywhere near there. Zip. So this is another thing that can be kind of close to the coal line, like here. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, now let's go figure out where it's going to go. So if we look at a little gratuitous zooming there, at what we have from normal oil refining is we have some gas and we have some light oil, but we currently are not using heavy oil for anything. Eventually, we will be making lubricant, and in fact, we can just go do that now because this will be pretty trivial. Because I can just do this. You don't need a ton of lubricant. This is just, so lubricant is just like you take heavy oil, you do something to it, and it makes lubricant. I don't know. They kind of made this a very simple process on purpose. And now I just need to hook up heavy oil input. Lubricant most is used in electric engines over there. It's also used in express belts, so I should probably actually be looking to see what's required for Logistics 3 or whatever the technology is that allows you to make express belts. Because I definitely want express belts because it's like the final stage of my logistics stuff, and the sooner I get express belts, the better, just because it makes a lot of things go more smoothly. Okay, so now we're actually using heavy oil for something, but still won't use all the heavy oil that I'll be producing even with advanced oil production. So what we're going to do is convert all of these to advanced oil processing, which requires water. So briefly, all oil production will be, or all oil refining more specifically, will be stopped. But all I have to do is connect the water up, and then it'll be going. Okay, advanced material processing is done. And we were asking what is necessary for logistics 3, which really, oh, logistics 3 requires production science packs. Isn't that exciting? And these require those things there. Well, let's do the research anyway. Already, yes. Okay. That won't be happening today. By which I mean the setting up the production science packs. Okay, so water is somewhere nearby. There it is. Actually, I probably will be doing. I was earlier talking about doing military science packs, but I kind of want production science packs first because it's necessary for things I actually want. Okay, so now we're doing advanced oil refining, which, to review the difference, this produces products pretty heavily weighted towards petroleum gas and not very much heavy oil, whereas this produces only a slight bias towards petroleum gas, which is a lot less useful. So even with that, we will probably still end up using more petroleum gas than certainly more heavy oil. We'll be anyway. The expectation is that we will be producing an excess of heavy oil and a small excess of light oil. So to remedy that, I'm going to set up cracking facilities, which just means taking heavy oil and doing catalytic reactions to break it into more useful products, and then doing the same thing for light oil. So, but now we have technology for that, heavy oil cracking to light oil. Okay. We're also going to need some pumps. Okay, so production science pack is finished. Let's go ahead and now we're just kind of researching whatever. This stuff will be useful eventually, but not immediately. Okay, so here's how this is going to go down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want a pump, which I built some and they went somewhere. There it is, okay. So I only want the cracking facilities to work when they're needed, which is why we're going to have them controlled by logic circuits. So, let's see here. In the meantime, though, they can just be like, so this one will start out just kind of on. And that's not a big problem. Okay. So at the moment, a pump looks kind of useless because like it's not necessary. Like, um, these are called pumps, but they are more properly valves because you can turn them on or off. And if they're on, if it's on, it will pump fluid. But if it's not on, it won't. Oh right, I haven't actually connected the water yet. Oops. That's a little gratuitous. There will be times when I have directly adjacent pipe to ground fixtures, but not there. That's approximately the middle of nowhere. Okay. So currently heavy oil is being cracked to light oil, and that'll just happen until these storage tanks fill up, which is not actually what I want. What I want is for this pump to only work if heavy oil storage is high and light oil storage is low-ish. Okay, so let's. We're gonna need some deciders here. Yeah, okay. So this is a little bit. This is how you do like logic stuff in this game, which it's a lot easier to just sort of demonstrate what's going on. So this thing is going to. Well, okay. Let's actually take some copper coils or red wire. So red wire will read the level of heavy oil. And also connect there. Yeah. So currently the red wire circuit is reading the level of heavy oil in this tank, which is 19,000. So if heavy oil level is greater than, nope, not that. Greater than 20,000, say, which I should just be able to type in a number here. Output a signal, which I will make H for heavy oil. And then also read the level of light oil in the system by connecting to that tank. So as long as the light oil is less than, I think 20,000 is still fine. So again, this is heavy oil greater than 20,000, light oil less than 20,000. Just output L. And then we need an arithmetic combinator. And connect the combinator to the circuit. If H, now we have our good old Boolean algebra here, and L, output P. Okay. So, and then if we want this pump to only function if the P signal is greater than 0. Okay. So I think this is set up correctly. We won't know until it actually is true. But I think this will only turn on the pump if heavy oil is high and light oil is low. While we're at it, let's just look at fluid consumption over the last 10 minutes. Most of, like, when you look at fluid production and consumption, most of it is water and steam because that's the power system. But we can turn that off and now look at, let's just turn off lubricant because that's not really useful. Oil is not, oil is being produced and consumed at a constant rate. That's not very interesting. Okay, but now we have actual numbers to look at. So heavy oil is being produced at a particular rate. It's being produced more than it's being consumed. So now we need to start cracking light oil to gasoline. And you can see that gasoline is also being produced below consumption. But anyway, the problem here is we can't crack heavy oil to light oil because the light oil storage is full. So you're going to do the exact same thing to crack light oil to gasoline. Okay, so let's just set this up here. Actually, this is, yes. So can I do this? Yeah, okay, great. Advanced electronics is done. At this point, it might be helpful to just research some of these passive things like research speed and mining productivity. So these are just passive bonuses that make our existing buildings just be better. Okay. So this will be basically the same as the other one, just with different materials. Oh wait, I've made a mistake. Well, that pipe was correct. I need to have a pump here though, which is here. There. Hooray. Okay. What is going on here? Oh no, that's fine. I was just getting a little confused by graphics. That's okay. Okay. Fortunately, fluids and non-fluids don't interact, so ordinarily this would be kind of obnoxious, but they'll be fine. Okay, oop, not you, I want this. Okay. And now we connect the outputs. Okay, so these are going now. And as before, we need two deciders. And exactly where you put your deciders doesn't really matter. Or I guess combinator is the general term. Did I use up all of my red wire? Looks like probably so. Oh no, there it is. Okay. So again, measure the level of light oil in the system. I guess I could, no, okay. So I could connect these two circuits together, but I don't really want to do that. Okay. So now this is just measuring level of light oil and petroleum gas. So, oh, this is the arithmetic one. Wait, did I place 3 arithmetic combinators? Yes, I did. That was not what I wanted to do. I need 2 deciders. Hello? Okay. All right, now. So petroleum gas less than 20,000. Set signal G. And light oil above 20,000. Set signal L. And if and G and L, output P. And then this thing only pumps on P greater than 0, which did I set this up wrong? Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this one's actually going because we have a great excess of light oil and a little bit less petroleum gas. So these things are working not super fast. Actually, no, they're just the pump is working as fast as it can, and these things are just going at capacity. Which ultimately, I'll probably need to make more chemical plants for cracking so that we can crack faster. But right now, our needs are fairly low. So that's been pretty good. It's about time for me to stop in any case. This is a very good stopping point. I have two little logic things set up to control our petroleum cracking or oil cracking. If we look at like, too bad we can't like, I'm guessing that eventually they might have like manual time scales here where you can just like type in a number of hours. But like, so you can see this is where I like turned off science production. This was off stream. I guess I've been going for nearly 2 hours here, so like this is everything that I did today. Yeah, this is all this was off stream when there was no science happening. I was just building iron production, and this is what I did today. So we're now at pretty good productivity, and you can look at comparable stuff. These graphs are not actually very easy to interpret if you have everything turned on. Kaz just showed up in time for me to stop. Okay, well, hope you enjoy the VOD, Kaz. And everyone else that's watching, thanks for joining. I'll just kick off the next thing. How about, can I get, yeah. All right, let's just do insert capacity bonus. Sure, that's not very important which one I choose there. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. See you later.